towards left center field. Pretty well struck. Yeah. Nico Horner, line drive homer into the bleachers. Cubs.
There it is. Nico Horner, the first homer of the season, and you can see that YouTube is doing these story things, or MLB.com. So annoying. First home run since September 21st, 2019. Baseball is off and running. Hey, Nick, you should have shown Tiger at the Masters. Oh, we have plenty of Masters time. We have plenty of Masters time, and we will get into it soon enough. This is hopefully going to be a quick show. I'm feeling a little hungover because I'm 31, not because I'm hungover. I had 2 beers last night, and then I accidentally fell asleep on the couch watching the Great British Baking Show. So eat me. My bad. I have a headache today. What do you want me to say? It is what it is. But I did prepare for this show. It's just not like me. But I'll keep it quick. Is it going too long? Sometimes it goes too long. We're going to start with some Russia stuff. The world banding together to hate Russia. And sports is leading the way, along with people in money in Europe. The Boston Marathon is banning runners who live in Russia or Belarus. Like, you can't have athletes come run in the Boston Marathon. Sorry, not sorry. Which is interesting because this is the first time I've seen Belarus acknowledged. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. This is them saying, like, yeah, Belarus, we know you're not a real country, which they kind of aren't. Sorry. Good for the Boston Marathon. They've been through some stuff, man. Like a terrorist attack happening at your sporting event is a really great way to have better priorities in life. You know what I mean? It just is. So good for them. The race is, of course, April 18th, which is a week before the NFL draft. It's 1 week before the NFL draft-ish, a little bit more than a week. I think it's called Patriots Day, right? It's like the best day ever in Boston. They do the marathon, and there's usually playoff hockey, and there's baseball. It's a whole thing. People take the day off. It's like a day drinking day. It's really great. I have nothing to say about this except for good for them. I am completely on board with that. Let's move over to football, where there is some pretty big news breaking yesterday. We have 2 more plaintiffs in the racial discrimination suit filed by Robert Flores against the league about players who coaches who participated in sham hiring process and who were discriminated against racially. Those two coaches are former Cardinals head coach Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks was the head coach in the Josh Rosen bottom-out year. They fired him in favor of Cliff Kingsbury. Definitely makes some sense. And then the other one is Ray Horton. I believe Ray Horton's I'm not 100% sure. I want to make sure I have my facts straight on this. I believe Ray Horton's situation is that he participated in a sham hiring process. I don't think he's never the head coach, but he participated in a sham hiring process with the Tennessee Titans. Now, what was interesting, I'm trying to find the comments for you. They just reloaded, which is annoying. The Titans hiring process, I believe it was Mike Mularkey, who I think was the coach for 1 or 2 seasons, and his career is strange too. Mike Mularkey was the guy. Do you remember the year that Patrick Mahomes was a backup for the Chiefs? The Titans beat the Chiefs in Kansas City in the playoffs, but Mike Mularkey was the head coach. He was then fired, which makes no sense. But I don't know why. I don't know the details. I'm trying to find them for you, but I know that Mike Mularkey spoke about this. He was open about the fact that he was kind of like offered the job without really participating in the process at the beginning. Does that make sense? Like, they kind of did the exact same thing that the Giants were accused of. So this is part of the lawsuit, and I thought it would be. I'm glad it's not Jim Caldwell, because it's really easy to make a case against Jim Caldwell that he did get 2 opportunities to coach like Hall of Fame rosters, and he just sucks. The other person a lot of people thought it might be would be Hugh Jackson, but he made a lot of really big threats and then kind of recanted a lot of stuff. So Steve Wilks, I didn't even think about Steve Wilks, but he makes a ton of sense as one of the plaintiffs for sure, because he was only there for a year. He did nothing wrong. That team was garbage. They get the first overall pick, and then they fire him to bring in someone else. So, it makes it really easy as far as I'm concerned. Makes it really easy. I want to send thoughts and prayers, T's and P's, to Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. His brother, I think a younger brother, was killed in a house fire, and it's being investigated as a homicide. I don't know where Hampton is, but it's in Hampton. Hampton is a town that could be anywhere. Where the hell is Hampton? See, I am prepared for this. but not enough to know where the hell Hampton is. I know there's a Hampton, New York. Doesn't this sound like a town that could be in North Carolina? I know this is riveting content. I know that you are all like screaming at me, all of you who are listening to this. Yeah, I don't know. It just says the Daily Press. This is actually way more interesting than I thought it would be. Where the F is Hampton? What are we doing? Bethel High School. All right. Sorry, we're going to just delay the show. I have to know where Hampton is. Virginia. Was right there the whole time. Makes sense. Makes a ton of sense. So T's and P's to Jeremiah Uzukormo. What a freak. What a guy. Oh, yeah. This league, petty wars continue. Deebo Samuel scrubbed the 49ers off of his Instagram account as a negotiation. This is like day one stuff now, which is it's honestly the craziest thing ever because oh wait, sorry, I've got clips playing. That's my bad. The craziest thing about it is that shut up. The craziest thing about it is that these agents are telling these guys this is what you do. This is the first step is to scrub your like a girlfriend. Like I'm fighting with my girlfriend and now I'm going to take the team off of social media. And he took any pictures of him in 49ers gear off of social media. Like, bro, are we doing this? You're a grown man. You're going to force his way out of town? You're not forcing your way anywhere. Please. Because he believes he's like a running back / wide receiver, and he is. He's an insane player. Unbelievable player. Unbelievable player. But I just can't with this kind of crap. Guys, stop it. It's not going to help you get your contract. It's just going to piss people off in the summer. But after that, nothing's going to happen. Nothing will come of this. And this comes in the wake of Devontae Adams getting crazy money and Stephon Diggs getting crazy money. And I forget the other guy. Oh, Tyreek Hill got crazy money. So Deebo Samuel sees himself as like a crazy athlete, and he deserves crazy money. And I don't disagree. But to scrub your team from social media is just like, wow. It takes time, too. You got to pull your phone out. It takes at least I'll bet somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour. You got to want it, man. You know, you really, you got to want it. All right, I got some petty wars from the NBA. When Anthony Davis was faking an injury so he didn't have to play in New Orleans anymore, on the last game of the season, he wore I'll see if I can bring it up here for you. He wore a T-shirt, there he is in the upper left-hand corner, that said, "That's all, folks," as a way to say, I'm out of here, New Orleans. And then New Orleans, they made the playoffs and the Lakers did it, and their tweet said right here, "That's all, folks. That's all, folks." Saying hey, Anthony. And you know what's funny? Their former first overall pick, Zion, wait, I forgot his last name. Zion Johnson? Uh-oh. Is it Johnson? This is how long he's been out. He has an injury, but he's also fat, which is why he's out. He's having a tough time keeping his weight down. Zion is not, he doesn't need a last name. Zion is not even playing for them. Their best player's not even there. Allegedly, one of their better players is not even there. They're made the play-in game. They're going to the playoffs, and Anthony Davis isn't with the Lakers and LeBron, and they rubbed it in his face. This is 2 years after he forced his way to the Lakers, including one of which includes a world championship with the Lakers. So, did the trade, quote-unquote, work out for both teams? I don't know. Probably not. But that is funny, and he does deserve it. You know what I mean? All right, let's get into some sports betting to wrap up the day. Day baseball. One of the best opening day scenes in baseball is in Detroit. People think that Detroit is all about football. No, it is a baseball town. Actually, it's a hockey town, but the Tigers are the most popular team in Detroit, bar none. They always have been. It is a baseball town, which is strange. The Chicago White Sox are favored over the Tigers by 1.5. I'm going to take the old Tigers. I also am going to play some future bets today. Allegedly, I'm in North Carolina, so I really can't, which is annoying. There's no spread for the Milwaukee-Chicago game? You serious? Why is there no spread? Weird. Also opening day in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at 3:06 p.m., which is great. It's a great time to just get out right after school, play a little hooky. What's the weather like in Philly today? Philadelphia weather. This is so great. I love being a podcaster. And you know what's funny is that you guys have to play along. At 3 p.m., it's going to be 60 degrees. Oh, yeah, it's still April. God, what are we doing? I'm ready for spring. Let's check in with the Masters leaderboard to wrap this show up. I like the Tigers today. They're my favorite team, so I'm going to bet on them. No real storylines from the first day of MLB baseball. So stupid that they started during the Masters. Commented on that yesterday. I don't know what else to say about the SJM. who I don't know. Who are you? Im Sung-jae is a South Korean professional golfer who is -5 at the Masters. Good for you. Im Jung? Or is it, wait, oh, I got to say this right. I got to learn how to pronounce Eastern Asian names. Im Sung-jae. Got to learn more about Korean and Japanese and Chinese culture. That's on me. Any interesting stuff from the leaderboard? No, not really. Tiger Woods was -1. There was a guy, I forget who it was. Somebody who's up top. Was it someone? It doesn't really matter. This guy was -8, but he had 2 double bogeys, so he ended up being -4. It was one of the weirder rounds you'll ever see. Cam Smith, this guy, this Australian golfer, he double bogeyed the first hole and double bogeyed the 18th. So like terrible start, terrible finish. Just got to do more push-ups, man. Got to run a little bit more. In the middle of that, he was the best player on the course. By far. But he shit himself at the beginning and at the end. Man, you got to warm up. You got to get some Adderall or some coffee or something because that can't happen, buddy. Tiger Woods is still hanging around. A lot of people -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, etc. Today's the day. Moving day used to be Saturday and the Masters. It's now today. You can be gapped. If you don't make progress on Friday, it doesn't matter what you do on Saturday. Because at that point, you're too far behind, and then you're betting on an historic collapse. I actually like Tiger Woods as the betting favorite here. So just a really quick aside, just to give you some narrative stuff. We're seeing this now with pro athletes in team sports. Basketball, hockey is like this. It happens a lot more in baseball as guys get older, but it was really revolutionized by Roger Federer in tennis, who's, in my opinion, the greatest tennis player of all time. And Nadal kind of did it as well, where they figured, like, I can play for a couple more years. I just can't play every single weekend. And oftentimes the tour, it's a grind. You go out and you play. I mean, these countries, you hear about the 4 majors in golf and the same thing, the Grand Slams in tennis. But there are games and tournaments every weekend, and these guys are pros. You go out and you owe it to the tour and whatnot. But as you get older, these greats are like, I don't know. I would rather only play 4 or 5 times a year and try to win these big tournaments than play in every single one. And in tennis, people were kind of weird and suspicious about how people would be receptive to that. But getting a couple more Grand Slam champions out of Nadal and Federer was worth it. Nadal just won the Australian Open. I think we're going to see the same thing in golf. I think Tiger's going to play about 20% of tournaments for the rest of his career, and they're all going to be these big tournaments. And as a result of that, he's going to be fresher. You know, as you get older, I mean, I'm 31, but I'm not like 40 or whatever Tiger is as a golfer. Can't do it the way you used to. Like, that's just a fact. All the torque on his knee hits his knees and back. Like, your body's not meant to do that stuff. Your body's not meant to throw a baseball or throw a football. Take days off. We need rest. And I'm on board with this. So if he's playing in a tournament from now on, if he says he's playing in a tournament, and like there was a whole narrative, heading into this, that he wasn't healthy. I think it's kind of bullshit. I think he kind of was for the last like month, and I think he just kind of kept it low key. Like if he's going to play in a tournament, he's going to play to win, and he's going to try to win tournaments that matter. I think he's got 3 more majors to tie Jack Nicklaus. I think so. I could be wrong, but man. Good for him. It's going to be great. A lot of guys -1 hanging around the even. Hideki Matsuyama, our skinny king. Will Zalatoris is right there. Tiger Woods -1. See what happens with Cam Smith. See if he can have a better day today. That's going to do it for this episode of Interesting to See. We'll check in on baseball and cover the Masters next week. NFL draft as well. Thinking about taking a summer hiatus. See how it goes. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Maybe you can convince me to stay, and we'll talk about golf and baseball all summer.